Tell me what your life was like before you died.
When I was in India staying at ashram, I'd go over to India, I'd stay 3-4 months. I wasn't just a visitor. I mean, I'd stay and really block off some time. And the guru I was staying with at the time said, I want you to go out and get a Nadi, N-A-D-D-I, a Nadi Palm Leaf reading. And I said, I don't believe in fortune telling. He says, oh, no, this is different. This is different. I said, no. And I said, no, this is different. You need this. This will help you on your next stage of where you're going spiritually. And I'm going. So he told me about what it was because I had no idea what it was. I'm thinking you're reading your palms or something. And no, 2,500 to 5,000 years ago, these 18, I think there was 18 Rishis, these holy men, sages, they sat down and they channeled the lives of future people going to be born over the next several thousand years, thousands of years. And they would write stuff down, and it was written on a palm leaf, the hard part of the palm. They take the fronds off, and then somebody would scribe it and engrave it, and then they'd shellac it, and it would last for a few hundred years, and then it deteriorated. Somebody had to redo it. So consequently, some of them have been redone a few times, which lends itself to errors just by the fact that somebody else is redoing it. So I'm told that, I'm going, yeah, okay. So somebody 5,000 years ago or 2,500 years ago has written one of these for me. If you're supposed to have one, you will have one. And the first time I ever heard about these was from somebody that used to be in SRF, and he formed his own group, Ananda, Brother Kriyananda. He wrote a book about these things, prophecies and things and stuff. And at the time I'm going, yeah, okay, this is cool. I'm not much into it, even though I'm a new ager and a lot of neat stuff happens, but I don't chase it. I don't need to know who I was in a past lifetime, what this is, what that means. I'm very childlike. I just enjoy. Oh, that happened. Okay, that's cool. All right. So in this reading I had, and in this reading is interesting because you go in there and you don't tell them any information. You just give them a thumbprint. For your man, you give your right thumbprint, woman, a left thumbprint. And that's all they have. You can put initial or number, whatever you want next to it, so they know who to call in. And so I gave it, I went to this place, and about 3 hours later, they called me in. Now, some places, they may not find that for 6 months or at all, So, but I was going to sit there until they found it, which is really crazy because it could take months, So, because these things are stored all over India, like about 20 different places. So you may go to this place and they don't have yours. It's in Delhi and you're in Pune. It's like, what? All the odds were against it, right? So I go in there, I said, I'm pretty sure the guy calls me in, and then he pulls out these, they look like Phoenician blinds. They're a stack. He'll ask you a question. If you say no, he puts that one wide. That's not you. And you go to the next one. So this was on about the 7th one of this bundle. And I kept saying, no, it was close, but no. So he finally goes, your name is 4 letters long. Well, my nickname, the name I go by every day, is Bill, right? So I'm thinking, William okay, I'll give him that. Okay, it's a good guess. 4 letters, Bill. Yeah, I said, okay. He says it starts with B. And I go, okay. He says it's B, or whatever. They mispronounced it, but it was like B-I-L. He spelled it out, right, phonetically. On this thing, it's all about sounds. It's not so much in English. I didn't know that at the time. And he says, so your name is Bill. He says, and your father's name was, meaning he's implied that he's no longer around. And your father's name was also the same exact name as yours. I'm William Hector McDonald Jr. My dad was senior. So it's exactly the same name as mine. So when he says, you had the same exact name as your father, I thought, well, that's pretty good. What are these guys on a Google search or something? What's going on here, right? So then he goes, and your mother's name is, and they blew it. They didn't know how to say Marcella because it's kind of Italian sounding, Marcella. I finally figured out what he was saying. I go, yes. And they said, so both your parents are dead? Yes. And then the guy goes, in order for you to know this is when you're supposed to have your reading, this is the right time, I'm going to give you a piece of information. If this is correct, then we're going to go ahead with the reading. He says, this is written here as a play, but this was written thousands of years ago. He says, and then it's the guy that's reading it, this guru guy goes, my intuition says you recently worked on a movie. And I go, yes, 3 weeks before. But not as an actor. And I go, that's true. But nobody at the ashram knew that. And had I been in there the year before, it wouldn't have made any sense. And had I been in there a year later, it would have been not recently, no. So it was like, okay, that's the right time. Then he goes, your birthday is March between 14 and 16. Is that correct? I go, yes. And then he goes, 16th. That's pretty good, March 16th. Okay. And then he goes, and your wife's name is Carol, girl of my dreams, right? Girl of my visions. I go, yes. And you're still married to her? Yes. You got 2 children, a boy, then a girl. That was true. So it went through 40 different questions, answered yes to all. You know, you write books. You're currently writing a book about about the guru's ashram you're staying at. You wrote a book about your life, you work spiritual books. You give lectures, you give all that stuff was right on. And then it goes, and you got basically 2 gurus. And so they gave me that, and was Babaji, which nobody could be a direct disciple of, but they said Babaji. And then this guy was with, kind of like a live version. Then I thought that was the end of the reading. They gave me a bunch of stuff. And I took out my wallet and I was going to pay him. And the guy goes, no. That wasn't the reading. That's just the index card. So now we can pull up and do a reading on you. I go, what? That's just so we know we got the right guy. So that was bells and whistles I thought was the reading, and it wasn't. So 6 hours later, I go upstairs and they got 2 interpreters. It goes from one language that this thing's in, and he reads it. This other guy understands that, and he gives the language to this other guy, and then this other guy gives it to me in English. So they go and they gave me a past life reading. They took one past life that was significant, that was affecting me. So they picked one and said, you had a former lifetime, a significant lifetime in Sri Lanka. You were the senior monk at an ashram run by the guy that you're presently staying at his ashram. You were at his ashram back then. And then the guru that sent me for this reading, in a note or telephone conversation, he says, I want to know what his worst sin was. So basically I go, this could be great, because I've seen people leaving that room earlier during the day that were crying. One guy beheaded a bunch of people, somebody burned somebody alive, somebody was an adulteress, and a crook and a criminal and died. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So I've got my worst sin ever. So the guy says, okay, I was told to give this to you. I'm going to tell you your worst sin ever. You were at the ashram. The guru was a married man, had a beautiful wife, and you had a thought how beautiful she was and you'd like to have her. And I'm going, that's it? Did I do anything? No, it's against your vows. But the guru read your mind and you were cursed and kicked out. So then you spent the rest of that lifetime wandering back on the mainland on India, on the Ganges River, the last moments of your life, according to the reading. Makes a great story. The last moments of life, I'm bathed in the Ganges, I'm going underwater, I come up this blazing light, like sunlight right on top of me, and it's the light of Lord Shiva. Now you can't see Shiva if you're alive, only if you did, right? So there I am being bathed in this light of Shiva, and I instantaneously become this rainbow, like a filament of rainbow colors. And I'm gone in this rainbow light. And then according to the guy doing the reading, which makes great fiction, makes good storytelling around a campfire. But basically they said, this is how we read every one of your last 30 lifetimes. As far as we can go, every lifetime you ended in a rainbow body, and yet you keep choosing to come back, pain and suffering over and over again, forgetting everything who you were, what you were, and you come back time and time again to walk and tread this earth to help and assist others. So it went on, and then they went on about, now let's read the future. He says, now your future's not very long. He says, this is like set in stone. He says, well, we only see this is 2010. We only see a decade. You're either going to die, or Shiva or Babaji is going to ask you to stay. It's not your choice. If you stay, it's to work, not for you to write more books, fool around, watch baseball games. No, none of that. In other words, it's not your choice. But 2020, there's something going on. If you're going to leave, that will be 2020. So on the predictions that they made for the future of those 10 years, everything except my death happened. And one of the things they predicted was at a certain date in the future, I was to travel to southern India, and I was supposed to go to this special temple, and it's sitting at the foot of some hill, mountain place. I was supposed to take a journey and walk uphill 2 to 4 hours, whatever it took, walking up this hill. And at the top of this hill, waiting for me would be the Rishis, and they would impart knowledge. And the guy goes, that's a strong word. He says, all they're going to do is awaken. They're just going to open the door for you. You already have this knowledge. Now, the next year I come, I have a major heart attack. A lot of beautiful things happen. I see Rishis, I have a vision of him. Things happen. I end up in a hospital in Sacramento, California, and I'm rolling in the operating room for a quadruple bypass, open heart surgery. And the doctor's telling me as I'm laying naked on this stainless steel table, butt naked, freezing my butt off. And if you've ever been in a hospital room, they don't have the temperatures up because they don't want bacteria to grow, right? So it's always cold. So I'm laying there and I'm asking the doc, I said, okay, doc, what's going to happen? He says, well, I'm going to give you a shot. You're going to go unconscious. 6 to 8 hours from now, you'll be kind of coming out of it. We'll be through with the surgery. And then I'll pull you out of that stupor when I think you're stabilized. We're going to cut and rip open your chest. And it shows me this device it looked like pruning shears. click, 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 cut the ribs, and we're going to hold this thing open. He says, and then we're going to cut and we're going to harvest some arteries from your legs, and we're going to harvest, from your arm. And then once we get all that stuff harvested, ready to go, he says, then I'm going to shock your heart and stop it, or whatever how they were stopping. I can't remember if they shock it and stop it. I don't know. Somehow they stop it. So he says, I'm going to stop your heart, but I'm cutting your arteries, and they're going into this heart-lung machine, and we're going to pump blood through that and oxygenate it from this big thing. So you don't have to breathe. Your lungs will be shut down. Your heart will be shut down. You're going to be artificially kept alive by this machine's going to pump oxygen into you. So I look at the doctor. I go, Doc, if my heart's not beating and I'm not breathing, aren't I dead? And he laughed. He goes, oh, well, technically, and then keep me alive on this machine. The flesh and blood's going to be kept alive. Gives me a shot. He goes, count backwards from 100. I get to about 96 and darkness. That darkness I had as a child, except all of a sudden I'm standing in my flesh and blood body in a patio area, a square. It's all cobblestone and everything, but I'm looking right at a temple, and it has this bull out there, outside the temple. I go, that's the Shiva temple. It's got the bull, right? And I look around, and people are bumping into me, and I feel them, and they looking at me, and they feel me, they see me. I hear them. Well, before I got here, I had no clothes on, so I kind of take a look. Oh, I got clothes on. So I'm a modest astral traveler. I replicated whatever I was, fully clothed, and I got sandals on, and I'm looking around. I go, what was the instructions I had the year before? When you get to this temple, and I knew it was that temple, even though I couldn't remember the name of it. And I look up, and there's a small path going up this hill. There's some pilgrims walking up there and stuff, and I'm going, I got nothing better to do. The guy told me 6 to 8 hours I'll be out. I might as well take a journey. I got sweat coming down. I'm feeling the uphill grade. I don't feel myself breathing. That's the only difference. I don't feel like I'm breathing, but I am moving, and my feet are moving. The body is functioning. And every once in a while, my body would have movement inside the chest. It was like there was hands and instruments and things going on. It was like there was surgery going on inside the body. It was like I could feel that there was things going on, right? So about 2 hours, whatever amount of time it was, I get to this horizon at the top, and there's this grove sitting there, and sitting around are about 18 guys or so, plus one. It's like Jamaica, with all those crazy hairs, and braids, weird stuff, weird beards. Yeah, it's all that kind of weird stuff. I'm going, and all sitting there, they're on logs, they're on rocks, they're standing, they're fooling around. There's a campfire there. There's a mystery person or two there. But also joining this group was this guru that sent me to get that reading. He was there. And I looked at him, and it's like, what are you doing here? What's going on? And so he looks at me and he says, you can skip a beat or two, but don't give up heart. What do you mean, don't give up heart? He said it to me a couple times. There's a part of me that just says, that body was so ravaged with pain. That body that I left was in such bad shape. That was like my 10th, 11th, or 12th heart attack. Can't remember which. It was in bad shape. I had 8 stents and everything. So there was a part of me that just wanted to go. But then this beautiful female voice comes up. The clouds, remember those clouds? The clouds kind of roll on this hilltop a little bit. And then I hear this voice coming from this cloud, and this woman's voice goes. And it sounded like it was a very sensual, beautiful, feminine voice. I mean, she was like, I'm picturing this 21-year-old, beautiful virgin lady, angelic being, and gorgeous. And I hear this voice says, Bill, just give it up. Just let it go. Just stop. You've done enough. You've done what your karma says you're supposed to do. You don't have to do anything anymore. Let it go. I'm going to give you peace, bliss, joy, and endless love. Wow, this is pretty good. Yeah, it's tempting. I'm going, yeah, okay, So then this guru guy, the guy who's at the ashram, right, he goes back to this. Skip a beat or two, but don't give up. Don't give up heart, right? Don't give it up. And I go, why? She's promising me bliss, joy, love. What are you promising me? He says, you come back. You're going to experience more pain than you ever had in your life. You're going to have to learn to deal with pain, because before you get pain and you just bliss out, dumb with pain, boom. But now that gift is gone. You're going to have to learn how to handle pain like a regular person so you can teach others. I go, so all right, so give me the straight. So I stay, I get great pain. I leave, I get no pain. And then he finally goes, no, look at this. And pretty soon those clouds, remember those clouds were filled with visions of the future? These were just images of faces. Children, even animals, old people, young people, teenagers, 30s, 40s, Indians, Mexicans, Irishmen, blacks, Hispanics, didn't matter what they were. It was thousands and thousands and thousands of faces. And this guru was saying, if you don't go back in this next decade or so, all these people will miss something. They don't have to have it, but they will miss something, a gift from you, even if it's just a smile, understanding, a healing, spiritually, mentally, physically, spiritually. Maybe you'll befriend somebody and that makes their day. Maybe you'll inspire somebody. He says, but every one of these people will miss something from their lives. In the end, what did you add to this creative world? What did you add to anybody's life? So at the end, it's not about who loves you, because that could be influenced by money, fame, fortune. Not who loves you, but who did you love? So to be successful, in a way, there's an ego on my part also says, to be successful, I hope I'm missed. To me, there's only one. There's just one. There's no time, there's no space. It's just the oneness. You call it maybe consciousness, but it's just oneness. There's no separation between us. Only in our minds is there separation. But in reality, when we awake, we know that we're God. There's no, as long as you retain this memory of who you are, there's separation. So no, God is not a person, a gender, Jesus, a Buddha. There's only love. So if anything's definitive, I'd say whatever love is, that's God, to love and to serve, without question.